Hey everybody, Austin here with a Let's Play video. Once again, I'm going to be taking you guys through a newly released Doom map I put together, actually two technically, as a part of my WOD set called Afflicted. Now I haven't changed the title screen this time. When I started making this WOD set, I had thought about actually just changing the title screen every time I release an update, but I decided not to because I actually like the second title screen I made on this one. But yeah, maps 3 and 4 are now available if you're familiar with this. If you're not familiar with this, this is a 4-map slaughter map set. Technically 3 with a 4th stopper map, which is more puzzle and secrets oriented. But this will probably be my last update for this thing in a long time. I don't really think I'm going to continue with it anytime soon. If I do, you guys will see a video in the future, but for right now I'm considering this to be the final version of this WOD. I do have some other maps I'm working on just kind of in the background. They're a little more fun and a little more simple. But yeah, I'm going to walk you through map 3 and map 4. Again, map 4 is more of a puzzle map. It should be pretty easy to go through. Map 3, on the other hand, is very intense. It's very difficult right from the very start, as long as you're playing on ultraviolence. For those of you guys that have seen my playthroughs of maps 1 and 2, and maybe you even tried them for yourself and you thought they were too difficult, because originally they were only available for ultraviolence. They were balanced around that. There were no difficulty settings. I have now implemented difficulty settings on all the maps, so you can go back and try the earlier maps, lower them down to like, I'm too young to die, or, you know, hey, not too rough, or hurt me plenty. Those all have difficulty balance changes, and they are significantly easier. There's still a lot of enemies, because they are slaughter maps, but barely any archviles. I think cyber demons are usually gone, things like that. You know, huge hordes of enemies have been trimmed down. So again, if you're one of those that tried this out over the last year, I released my first one in October 2024. I appreciate you guys playing it, but go back, try it again. I'll have a link to my latest Doom World thread in the description box below. So you can go download the latest version of this that I'm playing right now, and then give it a try on the lower difficulty settings. I'm going to select Ultraviolence here, as again, this is the intended difficulty. So let's do idclev03. And for those of you guys that either played map 2 or saw my Let's Play of map 2, you'll remember that we transitioned from a rocky red area, like a cavernous area, into this wooden themed structure. And so we actually teleport from that structure to another one that looks similar. And the texture theme in this map is just all brown and wood and stuff like that, and a little bit of rock and so on and so forth. So we start here, we grab a super shotgun, which opens up this door. This is just kind of like a cozy little walk-in area. Part of it is because I wanted it to be, I wanted the grandeur a little bit, but I also wanted it to try to match the music theme that's going to be playing throughout this map. It starts off really slow, and then it kicks into some really like melodic metal type sounds. Once you grab this blue armor, it actually raises up these columns, so you can't actually camp out in that hallway. You can come out and camp out in this area. Once we open up this door, it triggers our first fight, and then cacodemons will start spawning behind us, and they'll start swarming in from behind. So you're not safe if you camp here. You're going to have to approach the main arena. And so yeah, let's go ahead and make a save file. And there are 2 archviles right around the corner, so I want to go ahead and just get rid of those guys. So there's one. Where's the second one? There he is. And again, cacos will be coming in right behind us. First focus is at Archvile, and then we have to worry about Revenants up top. So I like to start working on those guys first. Now, this is a tough map. I might not do this very well on my first try. I've already tried recording this once, and I just failed miserably. So, yeah, we'll just kind of see how this goes. I'm going to loop back around, try to, again, focus on those Revenants. The Revenants are some of the most dangerous enemies right now, along with the Caco Swarm that's about to come in. There's also a set of Revenants up here. Oops. Rocket to the face. Oh my god, I'm dead already. Jeez, man. Alright, let's try this again. So, for those of you guys that haven't played slaughter maps, it's hordes of enemies, lots and lots of bullets, difficult situations, usually overwhelming, but I find them very engaging. And so that's what I was kind of trying to make, is just something that fits well into the slaughter genre. High intensity, but also, like, not impossible. Stuff that, like, you'll play again and again, and you'll get better and better the more you play it. Kind of like old school shoot 'em ups and arcade action games that you guys know I really enjoy. So when I actually first made this, I struggled so much just getting through this first room. Well, technically this is basically the entire arena or the entire map, but there are multiple forms of escalation. Like right now we have phase 2, which sees cyber demons appearing up top, and they're just perched up. They can't get down to the main floor, so you can use them as turrets. Next phase is going to see, you'll notice that there's these columns lowering. Arch vials will be revealed on those columns. So you really want to just keep an eye on those columns from this point on, and you want to get a head start on those arch vials if you can. So I'm going to come down here, grab rockets. Each column has med kits and rocket ammunition refills. So we want to keep an eye on those columns as well, not just for the arch vials, but for also ammunition refills. Got to get rid of those revenants, otherwise stuff is just really difficult. I'm going to try to loop my way back to this side, try to get a head start on these arch vials. They're about to appear. Yep, there they are. Now, I'm not using free look or anything, so I have to rely on the traditional auto aim, and that's a good start. I got 2. Let's try to get that one in the far corner. Now, you got to watch out for those cyber demons, though. They really like to just turn around and target you. So not too bad so far. Let's see what we get over here. Oh, yeah, the cyber turned around and just shot straight for me. There's an arch vial. Unfortunately, this is not good. There's another one up here on these stairs. All right, that's fine. Got ourselves a soul sphere right here. Let's grab that. Move back around here. Another arch vial in there. There's also a megasphere. Unfortunately, it's surrounded by a ton of enemies. And you really want to stay out of the viewpoint of the cyber demon, otherwise he'll just kind of snipe you in this corner here. Alright, I'm going to try to run around here. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually kind of camp out in here now. There's not that many enemies. I don't think there are any more Cacodemons here. However, cyber demons will start targeting me, and they can hit me all the way in this little room. So you want to kind of sit off to the side so you're not in their, within their viewpoint. So it looks like there's an arch vial right here, which is good. You can get like a decent aim on him once he comes into this window, this doorway. Where did the arch vial go? I don't think I killed the arch vial. I didn't hear him die. Anyways, we still have 2 cybers up there. And I still see another arch vial. Let's kind of come in here. Okay, that one targeted me. That's fine. I see cyber rockets going past my face. Come on, arch vial, die. Thank you. I think that's the last arch vial, actually. So, okay. We actually did it. Gonna try to just do some cleanup now. Now, I don't recommend leaving these cyber demons. It makes the next fight even more difficult, in my opinion, so I'm gonna try to get rid of them, along with all the other enemies in the arena, just to have a fresh start on the second main fight. Now you can tell that they didn't do a lot of infighting because they're taking a lot of rockets to take down. I'm just constantly moving with these cybers because they are aiming downwards, which means that their rockets are going to hit the ground. And when the rockets hit the ground, that means splash damage. So yeah, I just want to stay in constant motion when I'm attacking those cyber demons. Now, there's actually a little strategy here I wanna mention is eventually this whole wall closes up for the last fight in the arena. So I'd actually rather preserve these rockets in here because the rockets from this point back are going to be blocked off. So I want to go ahead and just grab these ones out here. Let me grab another box right here. I don't think there are any other major power-ups left behind. I think I grabbed the Megasphere already. Yep. All right, so this wall is now opened up. This was a timed wall. So what happens is when you flip it, some lights come on. It's easier to see back where those Cyber Demons were. Arch Vials spawn all over the arena, and then where the Mancubi were, that's going to drop, revealing a more hellish room. That also reveals a ton of Arch Vials that just kind of swarm out. Also, some power-ups will appear on these grates. So when you see these grates, they're a little more distinct for a reason. That's where power-ups will spawn in, like Mega Armor and Mega Spheres and things like that. So let's go ahead and hit that. I'm going to go ahead and start targeting these Arch Vials down where the Cybers were. And the reason for that is, even though they can't walk off the stairwell, there's just enough splash damage distance that I'm actually doing damage to them, even though it's not hitting them head on. So I was kind of actively just getting some damage done on them, kind of working at them. I want to take up this Arch Vial first, preferably, and then come and work on these ones right here. This guy up here especially is a pain in the ass. Okay, this is actually really bad. Very bad start. And I'm dead. So the thing about Arch Vials in Doom, if you're not familiar with them, is they're basically hit scan enemies. And they add a ton of randomness. And the reason for that is, for one, their movements are a little random. But two, they are super fast. And they resurrect enemies like crazy. As long as they're next to an enemy, there's an extremely high probability that they will resurrect instead of coming straight for you. And so what ends up happening is they just bring back loads and loads of enemies. And, you know, whether they do actually bring back enemies or not is, again, it's actually randomized. It's like a dice roll. And so no two fights featuring Arch Vials are ever the same. And that's why I have so many Arch Vials in my maps, and why a lot of Slaughter maps have lots of Arch Vials in their maps, because they just add so much randomization, and they require you to really be able to play on your toes, which makes the fights exhilarating. For me personally, I find them exhilarating. So I'm going to actually try to take out this Arch Vial. Boom, got him. Basically what I'm doing here is making one side of the arena a lot more safe than the other. So again, you really want to just focus on the vials. I'm trying to focus on that one up top where the Revenants are. Unfortunately, I'm running out of ammo, so I'm going to bolt it down here and get behind this column, grab some health, come back this way. There's also an Arch Vial up top there. I don't want that Mega Sphere because I already have 200 armor. The armor is actually more important than the HP itself. Alright, looks like the Arch Vial up top where the Revenants were is dead. That's really good. This is actually really good, having 3 Arch Vials just kind of grouped together. It means that they're not really spread out over the arena. Oh, that's not good. I must have blown myself up. Okay, barely dodged that. All right, let's go ahead and grab this Mega Sphere now. There's an Archie up top where the Barons are. Unfortunately, the auto-aim is not cooperating with me the way I would like it to. All right, we got some rockets here. Got most of them back. I'm going to loop back around this way. Yeah, sometimes I do really well at this fight. Other times it's like, oh, I have to do it over and over and over again because, again, the Arch Vials add so much randomness. All right, that one's gone. Now, even if, like, you encounter an Arch Vial and you don't actually kill it, as long as you've hit it a couple times, like that one already had depleted most of its health. As long as you're just kind of hitting them and making slow progress towards them, you're good. You're good. It's just all about patience. Good, that one's down. There's not many left. Let's get rid of that Mancubi. We'll try to get rid of this one up here. And he's dead. Let's get rid of all those guys. And now we'll just focus on cleanup. I don't think there are any more Archviles. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually leave those Barons up top, because on the last phase, the next fight, we're actually already towards the end of the map. It's not a long map, but it is very intense and very difficult. And so, you know, you're going to be probably struggling with the fights on Ultraviolence, to say the least. But yeah, 2 more Cyber Demons will appear where the other ones had died. And I think I've got all the power-ups already. And I did. There's a couple Archviles right here, up top. Let's get rid of them. You want to use this left column. The right column is actually, it's thinner than this left one. So it's actually a little bit, it's harder to dodge the Archvile blasts from that one on the right. So we're just going to kind of sit here, play it nice and safe. All right, he's dead. All right, let's go and see if there's any health pickups down here, because again, this wall is going to close up, and I think I've exhausted everything. Well, there's one. Yeah, no more rockets either. So that's not amazing. I'm not going to have as many rockets to work with on this part, unfortunately. But there's still, I think, enough. We'll go ahead and grab this Soul Sphere. Now, again, some of these maps have areas you can just kind of scope out before the next fight begins. So one of the things you want to scope out is this part. There's boxes of rockets. I think it's about 25 rockets in each one. And then there's stim packs. And I think these are multi-layered stim packs. There's probably 50 to 70 HP worth within them. So you want to keep note of those. All right, so we're going to walk and hit this switch back to our rocket launcher. Again, Cyber Demons are going to spawn in right there. Lots of enemies coming through this doorway now. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this Megasphere just to have some armor. But really what we want to have happen is have the Cybers get into fights with these enemies. Some of these platforms have actually lowered to give you a little more room to move around. Also, Revenants back here have spawned. So we want to start working on these guys too, because we want to eventually use this room as like a fort to kind of camp out in. And that is really dangerous. That was really bad. Some stim packs up there. There's another Megasphere down there. I'm going to grab these stim packs in the corner like I mentioned. There's a few lost souls, not a lot. I originally had a lot of Pain Elementals, but man, they made this fight way too difficult, as Pain Elementals tend to do. I'm going to kind of cut my way back down this stairwell. And I'm dead. Now, there are lots of Revenants on the other side of the screen, and so what ends up happening is their rockets will kind of come all the way over here as well. I want to fall down here. Try to trigger enemies attacking the Cybers. Move back up this way. Work on these Revenants again. Jeez, I'm getting juggled by them. Back down this way. And I'm dead. This is so entertaining. I'm dying on my own map like crazy. Coming over this way to start is not a bad idea. Try to get rid of some of the Arachnotrons as they spawn in. They don't actually spawn in. There's actually a door that lowers, and they're already placed over there. So they're not actually teleporting in like these Barons and Hell Knights are. Again, try to get this Cyber attacking this way. Oh, there's a lot of enemies attacking him. That's good. Okay, great. Work on those Imps, work on these Revenants. Probably a good idea to focus on a specific set of Revenants, like a specific side. Splash damage works really well with these rockets. So if you kind of focus on like a singular corner or section... Oh, I blew myself up. You're more likely to take them out a lot faster. Again, more stim packs right here. All right, get rid of these guys. And that is it for the Revenants. And again, I can kind of use this to camp out a little bit. Now, because of the Revenant rockets on the other side, they can actually run into these beefier enemies. And then the beefier enemies will start turning around. Although this isn't looking very good. I don't like how this is looking right now. I think I already grabbed that Megasphere. I did. But there should be some health right here. And there is. I'm going to try to cut my way through the middle. Just like that. Loop back around. Now we can come back up this way, and maybe the Cybers will start attacking towards me. They can start helping out with these Barons and Hell Knights. And again, I can use the Revenant rockets from the other side of the screen to help out with them. You see those rockets coming towards me? Alright, the Cybers are attacking towards me, so if I can come this way, I can try to get their rockets to run into the Hell Knights. Looks like there's some Hell Knights on the ground that are being aggroed by the Cybers, you can see. I love it when slaughter arenas have just like really long view distances, because you can just see like these little micro fights happening in the distance, and it's just kind of cool to see. I'm going to grab some of these rockets that are left over. Okay, I'm going to come back down this way. There's not many enemies in the main arena now, which is great. Get rid of those Revenants up top. Now, there are Archviles in this room, so I don't want to go into that room just yet. Ooh, that was a scary rocket. That was really close to me. All right, some more rockets coming this way. Boom. More enemies getting aggroed towards the Cybers. Just let those guys duke it out. And in the meantime, I'll come in here, try to get a couple hits on these guys. Grab some HP. Looks like one Cyber is still aggroed towards me. Alright, that's one Cyber. Let's grab some rockets. Alright, so we've still got Revenants up on that side. Now, there is a trick to dealing with some of those Revenants. You can actually, instead of going into that room, you can come up here and just line up your aim with them. And that's how I'd recommend taking them out. And then you can deal with the Archviles up close. Just gonna sit here like this. It's probably a good time for a quick save, actually. I have a tendency of doing really dumb things after I've had a pretty good fight. So for those of you guys that are familiar with my other maps, traditionally I didn't have any secrets in map 2. But I went back and I added a secret in map 2, but I also created a secret in map 3 here. So every map has one secret. I consider them super secrets because they're kind of difficult to find. So we just kind of want to make it safe for camping out here. But the reason I'm saying that is the super secret in this map is actually in this room here. Now, there's a couple ways you can actually deal with the arch vials in the back. I like to actually just kind of camp out from a distance and just snipe them like this. There's also that revenant there I'm going to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of those arch vials on the left. And it looks like they're all dead. And I'm going to get rid of most of them on the right, except for one. That's 4 rockets. So I want to leave at least one. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh my god. See, that's why I needed to save it. Because I was stupid. I was so stupid. Oh my god. It's fine. It's whatever. See, the thing is, I was trying to like just shotgun the arch vials. Because I want to save... I don't want to kill all the arch vials. I need actually one arch vial in order to get the super secret. And it's what we call doing a arch vial jump. So let's try this again. I got plenty of rockets left over, so it's like I can waste as many rockets as I want. But the thing about arch vial jumps, it's basically like Doom's version of a damage boost. And... you know, if you're familiar with games like, I don't know, Castlevania or Ninja Gaiden, those classic 8-bit action games where you intentionally get hit and get boosted up to another platform higher up, you need at least one arch vial alive in order to do it. But you also need health. You need enough HP to be able to do it. Now, if you're playing continually, what'll end up happening is you'll have the chain gun. You can just kind of snipe them from a distance. So, okay, great. There's one arch vial left. So we're going to go ahead and let him trigger us. And then we're going to go into this window right here. Oh, jeez. It's not letting us. That wasn't a high enough boost, so I'm going to have to get my health back. And I don't think there are many health refills left. Which is why, if you're going for this... if you're not doing a single segmented run, it's good to just quick save. Boom! So this is our super secret, and there's one of these on every level. So, if you guys saw my secret on map 1, it's very similar to this. Basically what I did is I copy-pasted that secret and put it into each map and then changed the architecture. They're meant to be just kind of fun. And these are pictures of my cats. This is Milo. Most of them are Milo because I have more pictures of Milo now than Patchouli. But there's Patchouli right there. A lot of you guys will be familiar with her. Unfortunately, the PNG conversion to the Doom format is not amazing. You have to really do a lot of touch-up on these to get them to look good. So I haven't touched them up at all. But yeah, lots of Milo. This is the day I adopted Milo. That's when he was at the shelter. And there's Patchouli again, hanging out while I'm streaming. But yeah, so that's the super secret on this. We just take this teleporter. We end up here. The Archvile is still there. I have to go back and kill him if I want to get 100%. So let's come back, get some health back. Ooh, I might not have... Ooh, I may have exhausted all of it. Holy crap. Yeah, I think I actually exhausted all my health refills. Normally I do a lot better in these fights, but again, this is the first video game I played all day, and, you know, I'm basically a little rusty, so to speak. The 100% doesn't really matter all that much, but I'll go ahead and save it anyway, just in case I died of this Archvile. There we go. So there's a switch right here, which opens up our exit. And, so yeah. I want to give a big shout out to Nick15. Or I think it might be Nick1514 on Twitch. I think on Doom World it's Nick15. He basically did a lot of testing on these maps for me after I quote-unquote finished them. He found a lot of issues, but then also suggested ways to do things like the super secret. He thought it would be funny to do an Archvile jump, and I agreed. So yeah, I implemented it, and so if you want the one secret, it's right here through that window via an Archvile jump. But yeah, there's a lot of architecture and stuff in this map that you probably won't see because it does require, you know, a vertical mouse look to see the stuff. But I'm really happy with how it all turned out. I've had some good compliments on this room in particular with just, I don't know, I just think it looks cool. It looks metal, man. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and exit. We just come down here. The wall behind you closes up. And another basic room. Yeah, that's it. So that is map 3, Crucified. So now that's going to toss us straight into map 4, which is called Epilogue. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have any health refills on this map. So what I'm going to do is actually just do an id clev 04, and we're going to start the map fresh. But this is a shorter map. There are 0 enemies. There are technically 8 secrets, only 7 that are triggered on the map for one very specific reason I will explain later. But one of the themes on this map was taking my previous maps and kind of redoing some of the architecture in this last map. So like this part right here is actually a retheme of the elevator from map 2 with some other gimmicks you'll see later on. It's also not as tall since you're not fighting enemies and stuff like that. But there are a lot of secrets on this map, which usually require you to shoot switches. So the first switch is actually right here, semi-hidden by this column. You can see a little bit of red there. And it is a shootable switch. Got it. That's going to open up one of our... I'll explain it later on as we get to it. But we're going to be looking for a bunch of different secrets. This one right out in the open is also a shoot switch. And I think I just got it. Yeah, it's lit up pretty well. And if you come over here, you'll notice there's another one down in the fire room. So how are we going to get down there? Well, there's also another secret right here. With a push wall. Shoot switch. This is also for Nick15. He loves his secret push wall switches with single item bonuses in them because they count towards your overall completion percentage. Although completion percentage now doesn't really matter that much because you can't actually finish this map. There is no exit. That's what stopper maps are for. So what I'm going to do is come over here. And this is like the big stairwell in the beginning from map 1. And you'll notice that the textures and stuff aren't exactly the same. I've rethemed the textures. So it's kind of like a trip down. I don't know. You get like a little bit of a deja vu feeling. But if you come down here, strafe run across, this is blocked up. Now what this actually is there's actually 3 walls that lower via shoot switches. So that's why I actually have these items here, or these objects. There's one set of objects behind each wall. Or in front, I don't remember. But basically, I have to hit 3 switches to lower these. And so we want to eventually come back here. But I have to be really careful because I don't want to take too much damage there. Because I will be forced to take damage in the fire later on. So we're coming back. And we've actually opened up a room right here, which puts us up top. So if you look over to the right, it's pretty dark, but there is a shoot switch right there. Even down below, you can look up and see the indentation. So if you come down here and we walk our way around this corner, there's another one in here. I think I hit it. Now you can actually get all 3 switches. You don't have to fall down and re-trigger the teleporter. And if we come up here and land on those columns, those techno pillars, there's another switch right there. Boom, got it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is come this way. And I think all of that should have triggered the walls. Yep. So this is our secret, which is basically a thanks for playing arena. And the meme texture in Doom is fire blue, so I used fire blue here with the special light effect. Shoutouts to Insane Gazebo, which actually taught me how to do that on MAP03 many months ago. So I decided to implement it here. I thought it's a pretty cool effect. And then if you find that super secret room, that actually triggers something in the very beginning. So we're going to work our way back. There's also this room right here, which is just a secret, but takes us up top for a Nick 15 TM health bonus. But hey, what's this? Things have changed. More Milo and patchouli. So, yeah. And then we have another one over here of actually Milo and patchouli in my kitchen where they get fed. Staring at me, staring into the depths of my soul, waiting for food. Feed me, human. All right, so if I come in here now, and what I'm going to do is actually quick save it, because this is actually a pretty dangerous part. The blinking parts of the fire do 20 damage. That's a lot of damage. But what's happening here is we need to hit that switch. And actually, now that I think about it, with mouse click, I could probably just activate the switch right here. I never thought about that, actually. It's not working. I need crosshair. Oh, I got it. Yeah, so it opens up this right here, which is our last secret. Which takes us up to this, which has nothing. I thought about adding textures that say, like, you know, thanks for playing, and putting in, like, you know, credits and stuff like that. Which I might do at a later date, but right now it doesn't have anything. But if I come down here, and this is our last secret. You can see I've gotten all 7 secrets. But if I come here, this actually pushes us through. Unfortunately, secrets will not trigger when you do this. But we basically drop down, and more Milo staring at us. That's the last part of the map. So that's it. I thought it would be really funny to have something like that in this map. So that's it, guys. That's maps 3 and 4 of my WAD Afflicted. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me struggle through this. Again, if you want to try these out for yourself, links are in the description box below for the Doom World thread. I will have these uploaded to the Night Dive Kex version of Doom, hopefully as of this video going live, and I'll try to post a link to that as well. Or just go to the Kex port and search for Afflicted, and make sure it's one of the newer ones with the updated title screen with the red columns. If it's the old one with like the tech base, that's my original upload from last year that doesn't have difficulty settings and is much more difficult for just map 1. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I might have some other Doom related stuff coming up real soon. I thought about maybe doing some kind of Doom mapping tutorial real quick just for you guys that have never seen stuff like that. But yeah, I do have other like Let's Plays and stuff like that planned. I've just had a lot of stuff to get caught up on lately, so doing those and working towards them has been really slow. But now that this map set is done, I'd like to move on to something else, and that should hopefully free up some time for doing the regular like retro walkthrough stuff. So, But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down in the comments below. If you play it, or if you just like what you saw here, also provide some feedback down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And yeah, you guys take it easy. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon. Have a good one.